Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends all around the world, welcome back to another episode of Touchline Banter, your favorite and one of the best footy podcasts on the internet. I'm one of your hosts, Shayan Karimi, alongside my good friend Ruben Chavez, or known as Ray Chavo, on the Twitterverse. If you're on the Twitterverse, get off the Twitterverse. Stop being on Twitter. Or X, sorry. X.
Yeah, I never call it X.
No, will it ever become Twitter? Anyway, we are back. We hope you're doing good. We have a lot of things to talk about, specifically Luka Doncic and his divorce and the custody battle and how it's turned him into more of a monster. Ruben's going to give us a deep analysis on that as a Lakers fan.
Yeah, man, he's a beast, you know. And the second that the divorce talks came up, it's like, of course he's losing weight. He's not eating at home anymore. He's just at the gym all day. He's got his revenge body going. No, obviously it's kind of sad, but it is funny that it's coincided with like a great amount of like form. Like I just saw he broke a record of like, he had 6 straight road games with over 40 points, something that only like Jordan has done in the recent years or whatever. So he's hooping. Like, honestly, if he didn't play for the Lakers and he didn't have like the middle of the season that he had, I think he'd be being included in MVP talks more seriously. But I think there's an anti-Lakers agenda in the media, like always. Okay. There. Yeah. It's the same thing with Madrid. Like, and I understand how it sounds because everyone's like, well, you guys are the strongest, like, biggest teams. Because we are those things, there's an agenda to discredit. Like, when Luka played on the Mavericks, I never heard about him complaining to the refs. Like, those weren't the clips that you saw. You saw all the fun plays. You saw all the records he was breaking. And people were like, oh, my God, Luka's the next up. Luka's the next up. Now that he plays for the Lakers, all the clips you're seeing of him in the games, a lot of them now are about him arguing with the refs. Now, all of a sudden, the fact that he doesn't play defense isn't just like, oh, that's like a negative thing, but like, you know, he's still so good on offense. Now it's like, well, we can't give the MVP to somebody who only plays offense. Mind you, they gave an MVP to James Harden. Like, yeah. So what the fuck are we doing here? So whatever. Luka's a baller. It's about to get to the NBA playoffs. This is the time that we need him to lock in. Not only that, look, I'm a big anti-LeBron guy. LeBron James, kudos to him. He's finally recognized whose team this is because he's out there being like the best role player ever. He's like rebounding. He's cutting off he's not trying to dominate the ball. He realizes, hey, I'm 40 plus years old. Yes, could I still do some of the LeBron James things and be successful? Obviously. He's 42, but he's still fucking 6'8", like 240, and can still run pretty fast and is really strong. Like, that hasn't left him. But he's realized, like, the team is worse if I do that. Like, I'm not as good on offense as Luka Doncic is. And that's not, like, a bad thing. It's just, like, the reality of time and what the team has become. Yeah. So now that he's playing off the ball more, it's letting Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic cook more. He's so good at doing those things. It's like it's like a super version of Draymond Green. Like a version of Draymond Green that isn't a fucking idiot at times.
Yeah,
you know?
Doesn't
like,
kick people in the nuts.
Yeah, like it's a beast. And not only that, but DeAndre Ayton finally got some sense. I remember when he was feuding with Capella, and he's like, the talks. Well, he said like, I'm not fucking Clint Capella. I'm not just gonna whatever. And Capella comes out the next day, has a great game, and fucking Ayton only gets like 2 points or something. And Capella's like, my brother in Christ, you have 2 of the best ball handlers in the NBA. Like, this should be the easiest thing in the world for you. And then there was a report like a week or 2 later, and DeAndre was like, yeah, I just kind of realized like, this team doesn't need me to be that. I'm like, oh, it took you half a season to realize that LeBron James and Luka Doncic don't need you to post up to be Shaq. Like, you can just like catch lobs and get rebounds like that. And like, bro, listen, and I get it. Like, as a big man, you love to have a post touch. You love to show off your like footwork. Trust me, I still play basketball. And there's nothing I like more than when I get the ball in the block and I do a little hook and it goes off the glass. It was like, oh, man, he pulled that out the bag. Yeah, it's very cool. But I also know that if we have players on our team that are really good, I'm not going to get those same post plays because those players want to shoot, those players want to drive, those players want to do all the shit that fucking wings do. I've had games where I score 20 points and I dribble the ball maybe once because I'm just setting screens, I'm cutting, and I just get the ball at the rim and I just lay it in. And guess what? It still counts as 2 points.
Yeah.
And I still have a good game.
2 points.
I still have a good game and the team still wins. I'm never too fussed about it. So it took DeAndre Ayton apparently most of his career to learn that it's okay to just play the role that is existing for you on the team.
Yeah. It took Clint Capella sunning him and putting him in his place to realize Clint Capella is Clint Capella, but like he had some good seasons in Houston.
He's fine. He's a good he's not like
Hakeem Olajuwon,
but he's a solid player. Like I don't. So
anyway,
Luka Doncic is on his divorce dad tip. He's gonna win. He lost one ring, so we can focus on the real ring that matters. Bringing one back to Los Angeles.
Yeah. We're gonna put the tier list of it's like divorcee Luka, masked LeBron. Give me another one. I don't know. Whatever you got.
Oh my God. What about? What about Fred after his kid was born?
Yes, Fred VanVleet after the birth of his child. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, give us your tiers. What's in the order? Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back on track. We like to stay well versed here. We talk about everything.
Yeah, opening day happened, by the way, as well.
Opening day is
Yankees,
today.
7-0.
Yankees won.
They beat the Giants. We're back, baby. We're back.
Are the Jays gonna win?
No, I already put a bet. The Jays aren't making the playoffs this year, so
I have anxiety. I'm just gonna put it there. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about happier things. We're focused on the Champions League and basically what happened. Big news in the last round. They're on to 16. We're going to talk about, some of the big games, who qualified, who didn't, the new ties. I guess, naturally, best place to start is with Real Madrid fans. I guess, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. I'll just give my quick thoughts on it, and then I'll let you go, Ruben. Basically, City is ass. Pep Guardiola is a fraud, again. This so-called rivalry that we have between them, I don't see it, again. No, to be serious, this showed a lot, and Ruben has been saying this to me more and more, and I think I really, really saw this in the games there, that this Real Madrid team is different now, and really under Arbeloa, I think one of the main objectives that Florentino Perez told him was just, get the players happy again, specifically Vinny Jr., and we talked about this a bit, me and Ruben off the pod, that like genuinely we overcomplicate sports, and a lot of times these are just people. And you don't need to over-tactic them. You don't need to, put this system, and you can't go over this line. And if you pass here, and if you're in that Pep, I'm talking to you. You just put them in the best positions, make them feel respected, make them feel happy. You're seeing it United as well. Just put players in the best formations. Stop putting Bruno Fernandes in the 8th position, for God's sakes, and look what happened. But yeah, specifically with Real Madrid, everybody just looks so much happier, so much in a better mood. The vibe is the vibe I'm getting from a few seasons ago when we were winning. So, and specifically, a lot of players are standing out. Fede Valverde, he had his moment. Wow.
Phenomenal.
Name a better midfielder. I'll wait. Yeah. This was. I heard it on another podcast, and this was like, there are moments in Real Madrid history as a player where you like define yourself, and this was like those Ronaldo games when we came back, or the performances that he had against Atletico Madrid, or Zidane in the finals. I can name other players as well, but this was like his moment that he just went from, I think, a very good, very, very great player to like an upper echelon. This is now like Fede Valverde's current. Broad likely could be considered one of the greats. Not to get into overhyping him or anything like that, but it was an unbelievable performance. Like everything that you saw from him, pressing back and forth, just first touch, cohesiveness, whatever you can think of. Another player, Vinny Jr. Just obviously this seemed like it was a huge thing for Arbeloa to get Vinny happy, and you see it. You genuinely see it. You could argue that the team looks better with Vinny Jr. as the focal point and not Mbappe. We can get to that. But he looks amazing. He looks like a killer. He looks like the best winger in the world, one of the best out and out attackers in the world. And then the last thing I want to focus on is just the youth movement. Thiago, amazing, amazing performances. But the team looked great as a whole. Everything was great. It's love to see the youth movement from La Fabrica. I'd love to see a young player come in against a big team like Manchester City on a big night, two big nights, and have great performances. But yeah, the whole team. The defense was great. Erling Haaland was in Rudiger's pocket again.
Yeah.
And I expect more from Bayern. I expect a tougher outing. I don't know how Ruben exactly feels on this, but yeah, like I'm surprisingly optimistic going forward. I guess I'll leave it there.
It's very amusing because I just edited, or like I finished editing. We did a Premier League roundup, but in it we spoke a lot about the Champions League, and it's one of the only episodes that I had left to like put up that was in the vault. The other one's the janky recording one. I'm still trying to see if I can salvage anything. But anyways, back to the point. In that episode, we talk a lot about the Champions League, and I was saying that I think Bayern should be the favorites, and you were kind of like more on Arsenal. Like you kind of were, you didn't see it with Bayern, and I think the reasons why you didn't see it are still kind of there. Like their defense is kind of shaky, just like us. They've had recent injuries with their goalkeeper. I mean, we haven't mentioned it, like you didn't mention it, but Courtois got hurt in the second leg of this. Looks like he'll be out 6 weeks, so he's gonna miss these two ties at the very least, and that's like, he's out 6 weeks, and then we're gonna reevaluate what's gonna happen, right? Like it's no guarantee like he's out 6 weeks exactly, or like whatever. He might come back sooner, but it does seem like he's going to miss these 2 legs. Now, I have full confidence in Lunin. Like I think he's a great keeper, but we saw in the Atletico game, I'm kind of bringing this in, that I think Courtois makes a couple of those saves that he let in, or like he looks a little like Courtois looks a little stronger in some of the situations that Lunin was in. That's not to say Lunin didn't make great saves, and maybe I'm being harsh, but the first goal at the very least, I was like, Courtois could have saved that, and that's like that was my initial feeling, but maybe that's just the curse. Anyways, focusing on the Real City tie. On the Real side, my takes are very similar to Cheyenne's, and I actually thought it was crazy because after the second leg, I saw a lot of people on the internet, on different podcasts, even some people that I know who I work with, who were trying to say like that City looked like they were going to get back into the tie early on, and that there was this danger, and that like the red card kind of like bailed out. Not bailed out, but like that it changed the scope of the game. I was like, not really. Like I saw this, I saw the second leg of this game very similar to how I saw another game that we'll talk about, which is Atletico versus Spurs. Real Madrid knew that the derby was coming up. They didn't want to tire out their players in a way that wasn't necessary because they had already had the game won. And they basically just let City have the ball and do whatever because they didn't want to run, which is fair. And in fact, the people that say like, oh, well, the City actually looked good going down to 10 men. The reason is because Madrid had to take so much of an offensive. Once the other team has 10 men, you're going to get more of the ball just because like they have one less person. You always have an advantage. You'll get the ball back. So Madrid had to attack, and then City was hitting him on the counter. But like that's the only thing that really happened. I was never afraid. Like I this idea that like Madrid was lucky or that there was a moment. No, it was just never happening. I like City were so off of it in both legs that it's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, for me, the broader picture with Madrid is exactly what Cheyenne said and what I have been saying. I was not a fan of how Xabi Alonso was managing this locker room. And anybody can sit here and say whatever they want about his tactics, about the way that he approaches the game. And I'm not saying that he's not a smart tactician. I'm not even saying that he won't be a good coach. I think that with the personalities he had in this dressing room and the way that he approached this job, which is the biggest job that he's ever had, and honestly, like without any sense of like, I know that you can't take bias away from it. I know people will be upset, but this is the biggest job on the planet. It's Barcelona And I really think that's it. Like, I think every other job is smaller than these jobs. Because you can say, well, like, look at what Pep has done for City. Sure, but that job wasn't big before he got there. They laid the groundwork. He's there. Once he leaves, we'll see how big the job will be after. Is there going
Yeah,
to be
very
the
true.
same expectation from fans? Is there going to be, or will they know, like, okay, we had the best moment of our entire club's history, and now there's going to be a dip, and we'll ride it out and whatever. Like, we don't know what the club is going to become. Liverpool, again, it's a massive club. It's one of the clubs that I think in England that really has the history to be like, we're a massive European club. I've already said that Xabi Alonso could do the job that he was doing at Madrid, at Liverpool, and be let off the hook for longer. Look what's happening to Slot. Like, we haven't even gotten into their game in the Champions League and what's going on. That is he's in a bad spot, and a lot of other clubs would have fired him. And Liverpool's hanging on. And you can say, like, that's a credit to their stability, whatever. But, like, they could also just fire him and get Xabi Alonso if they really wanted him, right? Which is what some of these other clubs would do. United, let's not even talk about them. They're a basket case. Spurs, they might get relegated. Who else? Arsenal, like, they're a big club, but they've never won the Champions League. This might be their first Prem in over 20 years. Like, we're not comparing, like, PSG, massive club. Sure, they've won a Champions League. The demands on them are not what the demands are on Real Madrid or Barcelona, even Bayern Munich, because they are so big in their leagues and they're so insulated by the outside voice. Like, Kompany's doing great at Bayern. And I actually think he's also a really good coach. Do you think that anybody is, like, putting Kompany up on the tier list because of what he's doing at Bayern? No. They're like he's a good coach. But until he wins a Champions League, no one's going to be like, well, Vincent Kompany is one of the best managers on world football. Yes, people on podcasts will say it. People who watch the game for the technical side will say it. Your average Joe Blow who watches the Prem and watches the Champions League or just watches the biggest games, they're not saying that Vincent Kompany is the best manager because it's always going to be tied into this, like, the German league is weak thing. Whereas at Real Madrid, even though people say the Spanish league is weak, by the way, Spain has the most teams left in European competition across all three, ones that are still going, the Europa League Conference, and the Champions League.
We do this. Sorry to interrupt, but we do this every so often as football fans, and it's just like, oh, the Spanish league is this and that, and it's like every single few years we do this, and then, like, every year you just see Barcelona, Atletico, Real Madrid, and a lot of times insert another team doing well in the Champions League and the Europa League and stuff like that from La Liga. And I'm not like a La Liga advocate, but I'm just, like, saying, like, this whole thing that, like, oh, the Spanish league is over, the Spanish league is over. Like, come on, can we please just check the track record? Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, so I just think, like, it's the biggest job in the world, and he approached it as if it was coaching Leverkusen. And again, like, we can have the philosophical debate, and some people have had it, of like, well, if Real Madrid want to change, whatever. Okay, I personally think Real Madrid did not want to change. Like, as long as Florentino Perez is there, this is going to be the remit. So, and I think it's foolish to pretend like it was going to be anything else. If Alonso was smart, he would have been like, okay, I'll play ball with these superstars. I'll see out this generation. I will get the results I can out of this generation and lay the groundwork to build up the power once Alonso leaves. I'll have the track, the history of working with these big players and doing a good job and winning a league here and maybe a Champions League because I got the most out of these players. And then once the new guy comes in and once some of these players age out, I get more involved and, like, I want this guy. Give me this guy. That's what an intelligent person would do. Long-term view. You know, as a player, I think you really can only think about season to season, year to year sometimes. And, like, yeah, you can look at the long view to protect yourself. But, like, your career is always at the mercy of what other people think of you and the situations you can get to. As a coach, it's kind of on you. Yes, a job has to be offered to you, but you don't have to take every job. And in fact, taking the wrong job could put you in a bad spot. Mm-hmm. So you have to know yourself and what you want for your career and how you're going to approach it and what the realistic thing is to whatever. Anyways, longer diatribe on Alonso than I thought. All this to say, Arbeloa is the complete opposite. And I think part of it is that he has the freedom of like, look, we don't even know what his contract is. No one knows the length of his contract. It was just announced that he is coaching Madrid.
Yeah.
And I think
we don't know.
and he might know. Maybe Florentino sat at the board and was like, look, we like you, Arbeloa. You've coached the youth team. You've done good. We can't give you this job just because you're here. You know, this is Real Madrid, whatever. We have to do our due diligence, see if anybody else wants this job, see if we can get a big name. But what you can do to make your name the most attractive, not just to us, but to the fans, to make this an appointment that we can all be proud of and sell to the greater world. Because, again, no matter what, that's what part of this is. You can win as many trophies as you possibly can. You win as many trophies as you possibly can. You do that, all bets are off. Maybe you will become the next coach of Real. So you know, he's out there just coaching. He's putting his guys. Like in the game before the City game, he took off most of the starters and put out like 5 kids with like 20-30 minutes to go. Like there was a lot of game to go, and it was only 3-1. Like it wasn't an impossible like tie to overturn. And he's like, get the kids out there, get Miguel Angel, get this guy. Like he trusted the youth, something that we told was going to happen under Alonso. These rotations, trusting that never happened. This guy's like, fuck it, go. I know these kids. I trust these kids. I would argue that everything we tried to give Alonso credit for, we're seeing dividends with Arbeloa, like actual tangible things. I think Arda's playing better now. I don't think he's still like nailed on starter for me, but he's looking better in the games where he isn't like creating obvious chances. He's still trying to defend. He's winning the ball back more. He's making good passes. And I do think the fact that like Trent is here and Dean Howson is getting more in form and stuff, it helps him because it takes the pressure off him making all those passes and being the only one making the creative plays. But he's looked better. And again, it also helps that now he's surrounded by a bunch of people that do his running, right? Like it's not like it's not fucking Danny Ceballos behind them, which like please God stop playing Danny Ceballos. But anyways, I think that like everybody's just improved. And for me, the biggest ones is like you said, Valverde and Vini. It remains to be seen if we're going to be able to keep this up once everybody starts coming back. You know, like the health of the team is like a godsend and a negative all at once. Militao looks like he's beginning to train. Jude should be coming back soon. And then Mbappe, you know, with all the recent stories about his knee.
What is happening?
Yeah, whatever. I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But
what the hell?
He's on his way back. Obviously, he played a little bit of the second leg against City, and he played a little against Atletico.
Pretty good.
He looks fine. Yeah. I mean, the thing always is he just doesn't run, right? And so I do think, like, if we talk about what I want the lineup to be, you have to put runners alongside him. Like, the midfield should be Jude, Tchouaméni, Valverde, yeah, thank you, and Pitarch, like to me, or Camavinga. Like I like those two. And as much as I think Arda's been better, I still think his value would be like, okay, it's getting late in the game, tired legs. We'll take out Pitarch if we need a goal and put in Arda to try to get something or whatever, like a switcher like that. But yeah, I think he's inspired Valverde and Vini just by having confidence in them. Like the way that Alonso, and again, whatever, I'm never gonna, if we keep using Vini as the thing, like everyone's gonna be like, we guys just love Vini, you think he's the best, he's overrated. First of all, like look at his stats compared to other wingers. Like Bukayo Saka, for all this talk that he's like one of the best wingers in the world, he's been a ghost. Like he was a ghost in the Carabao Cup final, and I don't see the same pressure on him as I do for Vinny Jr. because there's levels to this. There's levels to being at Arsenal, and there's levels to being at Madrid. Like, just pure and simple.
Sorry, it's just there is.
That's just I'm like, fuck. I really am sorry that you cheer for that club. But like, that's just the reality. But for me, it's Valverde. Alonso had people turning on him, had people saying that we should sell him, had people saying that he doesn't look good in any position. I saw that on Reddit. I saw it on Twitter. I saw people being like, what does Valverde do? This is what he can do. He works hard. He wins the ball back. He covers so much grass. And not only that, but when he's given the freedom to go and attack, he can attack well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And this is the guy that people were saying, like, no, Alonso's right. We should just have him as a right back. He doesn't belong in the midfield. We need more room for Arda Güler in the midfield. And Valverde is just taking – are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, it is insane to me that was a discourse. It's insane to me that people forgot how good he is. And like you're saying, there are moments. This moment solidified his Real Madrid career for me. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, he had his first moment where he endeared himself when he took down Morata. He's had other moments, you know, he's scored some banger goals, whatever, but this was the one in the middle of a crisis in the club, quote unquote. You know, people don't really have faith in the managers. People were afraid of what we're going to be able to do, whatever. There's all this talk. He comes out, scores a hat trick. Boom. How do you like me? Not only that, like, every goal was amazing.
Like not just the last one, like every single, like the first one is actually one that I really like a lot, like the touch and then to run past and to finish on a tight angle. Yeah. Like
that one was good. And the second one where Donnarumma kind of
goofed,
flubbed it.
But
like, and the third one where he does that in Marquez's face. Mm-hmm. One of the best defenders in the Prem. He's just like, like this is the guy that people said we should sell. Like this is the guy.
He's surprisingly good at attacking.
This is the guy that people said, like, maybe we should just bring in Dean Henderson. Yeah,
who?
I don't like. I just don't understand people, man. I don't understand people. I don't understand the short-term memory that goes on, and I feel the same way about a lot of our players. But anyways, very proud of how they showed out. For me, it's going to come down to the Bayern tie. I've said this to Shayan, and maybe we'll get to this as we talk about some of the other games, but I see Bayern as the toughest test left. Like, if we can beat Bayern over two legs, I am not afraid of any of these other teams. That's not to say that I think we're guaranteed to win. I believe we will win, but obviously it's football. Injuries happen, things happen, nights, moments. It's all about all of that. But we've shown we can beat Barcelona. We've shown we can beat Atletico. Obviously, they play in our league. I think PSG's a wounded animal this year. They've never hit the highs that they quite hit. I think we can match up with them. I really do. I don't think the PSG are above us. Liverpool, another team that's up and down. Like, if we get the best version of Liverpool, will it be difficult? Sure, but I don't think they're the best version of Liverpool right now. They're dropping points all over the place. They lost to Everton on the weekend. Did they not? No, not.
Yeah, they did. Oh, no. Brighton, I think.
Yeah,
we'll
pull it up. Brighton. I think you're right, that is Brighton. So they're, it is Brighton.
Yeah, it was Brighton.
So there's all these like caveats and things that could happen, but it's really Bayern. That's how I feel. I'm very happy about our Beloa. Yeah, the only takeaway really is like we're seeing what the team could have been if we never brought in Mbappe. I'm sorry to make it all about that. Like, Vinny.
That's what we've been saying. Yeah.
Vinny in the middle actually works better than Mbappe in the middle.
Yeah, or like even like off the left, you know.
Yeah, but he's drifting in like a lot. Yeah, he's drifting in
a lot.
And he's fulfilling that space, right? And it actually gives Fran more space to do stuff. And like Fran's been doing good. Like Fran's been doing solid. Like,
I honestly still get him out of my team, but like I'm okay. I'm okay. Fran can do some things. Ceballos, no.
Yeah, Ceballos.
I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, like genuinely, like not to get hyperbolic, but Fran has been like pretty decent. I was surprised every time he came on. I was like getting a little tense in the jaw. But He's been doing pretty good. I said it on another podcast when we just dissected the whole situation in Real Madrid that like the team should have been built around Jude and Vinny. Um, the system just worked there. It just that's the way it should have done. We shouldn't have shoehorned Mbappe. Anyway, we've been there, we've done that. Um, yeah, I think Ruben nailed on everything that needs to be said about Real Madrid. The only thing that concerns me, obviously, is the goalkeeper situation, which is unfortunate. We've seen what Lunin can do before against Benfica, against City. Courtois, genuinely best keeper of all time.
Yeah, he
Like,
was a freak.
just as a guy who loves Casillas, like I don't. I think the Madrid faithful aren't as high on Casillas as like some as I am. I'm kind of really high on Casillas just because
Well,
the shit I saw.
my dad also doesn't like Casillas, but it's less about his
But yeah,
play and more about his behavior, right? And like
yeah,
he
I can
and like
understand that.
and he kind of that's his feelings on Xavi Alonso now too. He's like that.
Hmm.
That he's kind of like a fake and a fraud as a Madridista like
Yeah,
Casillas is. Like
yeah.
he kind of doesn't like the way that he behaved.
Is he a plant?
According to some, according to
We don't
some.
want to go there. We don't want to go there. No, but like I
But
love
no, I
Casillas
agree with you.
always.
I
Yeah,
loved Casillas. Everything that I saw.
yeah.
Yeah.
But genuinely, like people were like, oh, he's not that good at like playing like with his ball with the ball at his feet. Honestly, he's pretty good. Like
More
genuinely,
assists than Pedri in the championship
yeah,
this season.
exactly. Eat your words. Eat those words. But the best keeper of all time. The saves he made were insane. But yeah, I think Luna can do a great job. He's shown that he's done it. It's unfortunate. But yeah, we'll see what the squad looks like, how they fit in everybody, and who they're gonna play. Whether Thiago, unfortunately, doesn't start if Jude and everybody else is starting. I think he probably still does. We'll see how it goes there. I want to like focus on Bayern for a bit, if you'd like to as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going over like the squad they played in the first leg against Atalanta. The places I see that they could have holes is on the right and left back positions. Like Limer and Stanisic. Stanisic is not as much, but Limer specifically, they're not known for their blistering pace. They're like solid at the back and they're pretty like very technical and they're good on the ball at their feet. But I think those positions can be exploited. The rest of the team, the front, obviously, that does concern me. Like Diaz is good. I respect Nabry. I respect Olise, Harry Kane. We know what he can do. Arguably, he was one of the best strikers in the world. The front three does look less potent, given Jamal Musiala isn't playing, and I doubt he comes back for this tie. From everything that I've been reading, their midfield. I like their double pivot of Pavlic and Kimmich. I think those two are really good. But I really think the back four is where I'm looking at it, and I think those. That's still the reason why I'm like caught into say that like I don't really see Bayern as the favorite, despite what everybody is saying. I just don't really buy Upamecano and Jonathan Tah as like this huge like pairing that can't be
The
exploited.
agenda
Maybe I'm
against
wrong.
Upamecano continues.
It continues. It continues. Yes, it will continue forever. Yeah, like I think they can be exploited there, but I do respect them on the offensive end. Obviously, Atalanta is a much different team than Real Madrid. We saw against, we saw what they were like. We know our defense can have issues. We know that, what Trent's deficiencies are. We know what Dean Huijsen's deficiencies are. We'll see who like if Carreras is fine. I'm assuming to start, right?
I think because he missed some of the games recently. He missed was because of suspension and stuff because of accumulation
Yeah.
of cards.
Yeah, so realistically, like it's basically for me like Dean and Trent that could be exploited, and then obviously how our midfield matches up against them. But is there anything specific about Bayern that like you're worried about, or areas like that you see that we can exploit?
Their tie was pretty straightforward. A lot of these Champions League ties, like the first leg was kind of good, then the second leg kind of fell apart. Like the most riveting games over two legs were actually Sporting versus Bodo Glimt because of just how the nature of how that went. But for Bayern specifically, they're a dangerous team. Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, Gnabry, Olise is a baller. They have a lot of talent up top. I agree with you. Their back line leaves a lot to be desired. One could say that ours has been very shaky. I guess the thing that gives me more hope is that Militao is coming back. Rudiger has been doing well. There is a world where we sacrifice Dean Huijsen's long passing ability, especially if we think we're going to have to soak up a lot of pressure, and this is going to be counterattack anyways, and we're just going to launch balls up to Mbappe and Vinny, where you just have Rudiger and Militao back there. Because Militao's also a competent passer. He's a good passer. He's probably may not be as good at it as Trent and Howson, but he's made some really good passes, and he is capable of playing out from the back. And if we have those two, and you have Pitarch and Valverde and Tchouameni, who are going to cover a lot of grass and really help the back line and help with Trent, I do think that we have the right setup to like bother this team and to really bring a game to them. It'll be a battle, but we're also a bogey team for them. And I know people, well, you know, it's not it's not the same team, but you know, it's the same jersey. We remember what happened last time we played them. Hosselu, the GOAT, the GOAT.
Yeah. And Neuer actually is likely out. Like he's making progressions, but with his calf. But that's also a big position. I mean, for us as well. But take your pick on which backup keeper you like more.
Lunin has done it. Lunin has taken us to a final. You know what I mean?
Lunin has done it. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that is a big thing for me as well. And exactly like I think that's one thing that I wanted to address is that in these do these ghosts haunt these teams? You know what I mean? And can these teams like turn it on? Like for example, when we're talking about who could be a potential favorite, because it's a pretty open Champions League. Like realistically, you could take anyone. And like Craig Burley said this on ESPN. He was like, Madrid taught City a lesson. They were genuinely never in it in either tie. And like, yes, it was 2-1 in the second leg. It could have been 5-1 easily. Genuinely could have been 5-1. So Madrid have that ability to turn it on in the Champions League, even though we've been struggling in the league for 90% of the season, you could say. I don't really see that in a lot of other teams. Maybe Liverpool, because Liverpool kind of has that like Champions League, like European nights thing. But is it really the same with the stuff going on with Slot and given like their whole season, like what's happening, especially at the back line? The news about Mo Salah just came out as well with him leaving. Does that motivate them? Is that a distraction? I don't really see a lot of teams that can push it forward. We saw Barcelona. We'll talk about them probably in a second. First leg against Newcastle, they arguably could have lost. They probably should have lost.
That was a very dodgy penalty they got.
Yeah. In the second leg, it's a different story. Newcastle is Newcastle. Eddie Howe is a weird dude. But yeah, like to me, it's the question of who can turn it on in the Champions League and whether your form in your domestic league is going to affect you negatively or positively or not. And whether, the ghosts of the past of losing to certain teams and losing to certain stadiums, specifically I'm talking about Bayern and the Hosselu moment, if that's going to affect them or not. We'll see. We'll see, genuinely.
I think it's a part of it. And, look, I do think, sometimes people can overrate that, but I think sometimes people can underrate that. And ultimately, Madrid do have a pedigree, the white jersey, the Knights at the Bernabeu. It helps Bayern that Game 2 is at their stadium. But still, if we take care of business at the Bernabeu and leave with a 3-1 lead or whatever, then we set up in Germany to defend. We do our best Diego Simeone impression. We park 2 buses and we do the dark arts to see our way through if we have to. But this is a team that does special things. Like in a way, if we do make it all the way to the finals and win, this would be very similar to the run with Benzema, where we beat Chelsea and PSG and City and ended up beating Liverpool in the final, right? So it has that feel of we believe, and maybe that that's the change in last year. Like last year, they tried to summon that against Arsenal, but the team was kind of hurt. We weren't really ready. Everything was new. Now, these players have played together for a year, most of them. We have some new blood. As much as we probably could have reinforced more, let's be honest. We've been through some injuries, and we're kind of seeing the end of it now. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And it'll be up to it'll be up to the players. But I do like our chances now that the players seem more motivated and more content with where they are than they did like 3 or 4 months ago. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I definitely think there's a chance. You mentioned them. Let's talk about Barcelona.
You got to. A team that way too many people, I think, are picking as their favorite, and I still do not understand it.
I don't see, like, I'm not saying that Real Madrid should be the favorites. In fact, I've just said Bayern are. And I said that if we beat them, then I think that we are the favorites because we beat the best team in the competition. I'm not sitting here saying that Real Madrid are perfect all of a sudden. They're not. There's still questions. We talked about them, concerns. I do not understand people's obsession with trying to make Barcelona a good team, with saying that they are a good team. Newcastle is below mid-table, and they should have won the first leg. And in the second leg, that first half, Newcastle were the better team.
Absolutely.
Almost every goal that Barca scored was off the back foot. Like, the fact that they opened the scoring was against the run of play. If Newcastle had taken its chances better across both legs, Barcelona lose. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm not. I think Lewandowski looks terrible. I think that Yamal is having a really tough go. He's still a great player. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He is a great player, and I think he will continue to be a great player. But I think teams are starting to figure him out a little more. And it does seem like he's finding it harder to find those spaces. He still creates, and he'll still have a moment or two a game, which is, like, it's possible. But he still also does that thing that he was doing last year that cost him against Inter, where he'll just take a shot that he shouldn't take and waste the possession and get rid of the ball. Rafinha's still a baller. Rafinha probably should have been higher in the Ballon d'Or last year because he's really cooking. Despite the injuries he's had this year, he's looking really good. But the rest of that team is garbage. You know what's funny? I was watching the game, obviously, and I was texting some of my friends, and they brought on Araujo because I think there was an injury to their right back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately in the chat, I'm like, oh, that's good news for Newcastle. Araujo's on. That means that a goal is going to come soon because of him. Literally 5 minutes later, Araujo gets done for a goal. My friend's like, you called it. I'm like, I know, because he's fucking dog shit. He's a terrible player. Araujo is
I'm going to get to him, too.
Like, terrible. Kubarsi, awful. Like their defense, honestly, like, all the problems people have with our defense aside, there's not a single one of their defenders that I would take to be our backups. Like, I wouldn't even take them over the people we have on the bench. So, I don't know, man. People really want this team to be good. And again, in the second half, like, Lewandowski did the thing he always does. Game is fully out of reach. It's done. Like, he scores the last 2 goals just to, like, oh, Lewandowski scored 2 in this big win. Brother, it was injury time. Brian Scalabrine was out there. Anyhow, literally was like, we got a game at the weekend against our rivals in the derby. Let's just, we can't win. And then Lewandowski's out there scoring these fucking Make-A-Wish goals and doing celebrations. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, honestly, never has a player upset me so much than him, because it's like, I don't think that Harry Kane was better than Benzema, but I'll hear the argument because I think Harry Kane does a lot of the stuff that Benzema does, the hard work stuff. He drops deep. He can link up play. He's a good finisher, scored a hat full of goals. He just never won. Part of that's that he was on Spurs, but even the chances that he was on Spurs and had a chance to win in these big cup competitions, he kind of disappeared, and he didn't do the things that you would expect a big player to do. But I have more respect for him than I do for Robert Lewandowski, who never scores consequential goals when they need it in, like, the latter stages of this competition for any team that he's ever been a part of. Flat track bully. Like, yeah, okay, congratulations, you scored 2 goals in fucking injury time. Like, come on. Embarrassing. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Barcelona, obviously, and I don't think that they're that good, as good as people want to be. And I think they could lose this tie against Atletico Madrid.
Definitely. Definitely, and I think that's the key point to go off of is that I think Atletico Madrid is being very underrated against this Barcelona team.
They beat them over two legs in the
Yeah,
Copa del Rey like 3 weeks ago.
yeah, they destroyed them, and in the league they also haven't done really that great against them either. So I don't understand why people are just saying that, yeah, like Barcelona are good, like again against Atletico. No, this could definitely go either way, especially Atletico's way. But to me, it's like, especially after the second leg against Newcastle, which like genuinely Ruben said, like if Newcastle just took their chances better and weren't just so open and every single goal wasn't on the counterattack, like this is a whole different like story. But people come out and they say like, oh, nobody can attack like Barcelona. I'm sorry, did we not watch the PSG
Oh my God, yeah.
Chelsea game? Like, so PSG doesn't exist. Did we not watch the Bayern Atlanta game? It doesn't exist. Again, 5-1 for on aggregate Real Madrid against Manchester City. It could have been 5-1 just in the second leg. So nobody can attack like Barcelona. I get it. They have great attackers. But just like you said, Lewandowski is washed. Lewandowski can do things, but really not much. Lamine Yamal, he's having the slump. I keep saying it's the sophomore slump. The first season, it was all the hoopla and Lamine Yamal, this, that, whatever. The picture with Messi baptizing him and all this kind of shit. It's the slump. Every good player, their second season, they go through it. It's fine. He's a kid, okay? Let's stop, like, donning him the next, like, Diego Maradona or whatever. Like, genuinely, we need to stop this. But I look at their back line, and again, just like you said, like, to specifically focus on Araujo for a second, he genuinely tried to cheat in the first leg. He tried to cheat in the first leg. The referee's like, no, you have to wait. He got caught out of position, and unlike what a good defender should do, he didn't sprint his ass back, and then Harvey Barnes was open, and he scored. To quote Ruben, this guy is dog shit. He is ass. He had like one or two good seasons, and everybody's like, oh, they found their new like PK or whatever, the tall center back they want next to the fucking mobile ball playing guy or whatever. It's like, can we please stop with this like grand gesture about Ronaldo Araujo that when he comes back, first of all, he's like always injured. Genuinely, he's always injured. I don't know what this guy is made of, but I don't want players to be injured. I want you to play, make your money, take advantage of your career, be healthy. But he's always injured. What else do you want me to say? But he's genuinely bad at defending. Like, he's not a good I don't know what he's good at. He's like, yeah, he's physical because he's tall and he's built like that and he's reasonably strong and fast. But, like, he doesn't use his physicality well. He's not really that great on the ball. And he doesn't have good situational defensive awareness. So, for me, you really have to take everything that's going on with Barcelona with a grain of salt because any game can genuinely switch in a second for them. They could be winning 5-1 one leg and they could be losing 5-1 another. Again, are they the favorite? No. In my opinion, there really is no clear favorite.
I think they're, again, if you had to pick, I would have them below PSG. I would have them below Arsenal. I would have them below Bayern. And again, I think them and Madrid both have a lot of problems and they're up and down. But this is Madrid's competition and it's not Barcelona's. Like,
yeah,
like Madrid have won 15 Champions League since this thing has been whatever. And if you want to say, well, some of those were okay. Like, Barcelona's best period in this competition, we've lived through it. We saw it in the early 2000s. We saw it when Pep was there and in the 2010s and Luis Enrique. That's 3 out of the 5. Then there's one in the 90s. And I think there's one a little before then in the 80s or the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We've seen it. Meanwhile, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you've seen 5. Like, if you were born in 2010, you've already seen fucking 6. Like, again, I'm sorry to do this. There's just levels and there's differences. There's differences. We were going for La Decima when I was in high school. I'm 30 now, and we're going for the 16th.
Yeah, genuinely, I remember La Decima at my friend's house. But yeah, there's, like he's saying, there's levels. There's a reason certain teams, are feared. I don't want to really get into like the penalty, whether it wasn't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We can play ifs and buts. You want to call it the penalty? Sure, it's fine. Whatever. I don't really care. That changes things a lot. We can play ifs and buts with all we want to, but my overall point that I'm trying to get to, specifically Barcelona, is like, bro, let's stop like donning them that there's this like crazy, like, Barcelona is back, all this kind of stuff. Realistically, Rafinha is the only one that I think has been consistently good this season. Like, Fermin Lopez has had performances here and there. Kubarsi is terrible. I don't rate him either. This whole like Pedri gesture of, Pedri, this is one of the best players in the world, and he does so much and all that. I'm like, send me the clips. I am open to criticism and feedback, unlike what it may seem on the podcast.
I'm not.
I am open.
Criticism or feedback.
Ruben is not. Send me your clips up. I am open to learn and put my hands up and say, yeah, I was wrong. But like, I really don't see it. I don't see it there. But at the Champions League teams as a whole, like, even when I look at Arsenal and
we can talk about that. Like,
we can go over to them. It's like, best defensive team in Europe. No question, in my opinion. No question, best defensive team in Europe. But man, still,
they make a meal out of games.
We don't want to go with ifs and buts and all these things. But let me put the question out there: is that last season against Real Madrid, if the set pieces don't happen,
yeah. No,
again,
that's what people have been saying. Yeah.
If I had 3 wheels, I'd be a wagon, whatever the expression is.
I'd be a bike.
Yeah, a bike, whatever. But like, genuinely, I think it's Arteta. To me, it's really Arteta. It's to focus on the Carabao Cup final.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's bring that in. Like, he got out. Like, we have a lot of smoke for Pep Guardiola on this podcast. Yeah. Pep Guardiola coached his ass off in that, and like, Arteta just didn't know how to respond. And you know what the funny part is? I was looking at a breakdown. I was listening to one. Sorry. And Arteta had been in the press because people obviously are criticizing the style of play Arsenal use, and maybe we'll talk about that in our Prem League roundup that we're going to do. Because since this is an international break, guys, we're going to talk about the club scene and get caught up on that as we go into the tail end of all the seasons. But yeah, Arteta was saying, like, everyone does man marking, and if they didn't man mark me, I would show you how different the game would be, blah blah. Basically insinuating we play the defensive, like, safe style we do with the physicality of the set pieces because we're being man marked, and physically that's the best way to do it. We get our advantages, marginal gains. In the Carabao Cup, Pep Guardiola zonal marked them.
Yeah.
And what happened was they looked like dog shit and they couldn't play through it. And like, again, I know that Arsenal fans will say, well, like, Kepa was in goal and he's not as good a distributor and blah, blah. Yeah, but, like, even beyond the Kepa thing, I don't think Arsenal ever looked in it, like, ever looked comfortable, ever looked like the better team. And, like, you would expect them to with the way that people are talking about them versus how they're talking about the City. And that's what gives me hope against Arsenal. Because, again, say whatever you want about Arbeloa. Maybe he's not Mr. Tactics like Xavi Alonso. But he's got, like, assistant coaches, people that I'm sure are watching these games and scouting the teams that they may play. I think Arbeloa saw that. I was like, okay, we can. We put 5 past Manchester City. City put 2 on them and didn't get 1 back. I think we can handle that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, once he gives the thumbs up and then the press goes, specifically Valverde, shit hits the fan for other teams, it seems like.
Yeah.
So we got to see how Arsenal deals with that. But, like, to me, it's looking at that game, it's just, when is Arteta going to take off the handbrake in big moments and just let this team really play? Absolutely, I think Pep literally looked at him and he was like, "Kid, you're doing great. I'm gonna teach you a lesson in this game. You're gonna get sunned," and he did. And credit to Pep for doing that. Which the Madrid performance against City shows a lot about the state of Manchester City and just the whole mental thing. Because Erling Haaland scored in the second leg with time to go, and he was really like, "Man, whatever, fuck it, man, we're cooked. Like, we're done." Like, yeah, like, the state of City is not great. Like, Kusanov and Aki were in the back four.
I just gotta say two memes. There's been a lot of memes about this Arteta Pep final. One of them I can't share here, but one of them I will say, and then I'll say another meme. But Yeah, the one of them was like, it was when Arteta was with Pep at City, and it's like
Hmm.
this was Arteta when Pep was showing people how to win a trophy, because Pep's up there with the Champions League, whatever, was trying to
Hmm.
coach, and then Arteta's in the back like not paying attention or like asleep, and I was like, that's brilliant. And like the other meme, we kind of talked about it, like how big is like a stadium, how big is the moment, how
Hmm.
big is a team. Donnarumma should never play against Real Madrid. Like if you
Yeah.
if he wants to,
No.
like if he should have a clause in his contract.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can't
play at
play.
the Bernabeu and I don't play against Real Madrid. Like because holy hell, we kind of slid over it, but like I've never seen him give like he's one of the best shot stoppers on the planet, and I've
Hmm.
never seen him look that good against Real Madrid. Like
Yeah.
I've never. Anyways, yeah.
No,
Um,
but like he the, to me it's like you go into that game and Arteta made mistakes. I get
100%.
it, it's a cup game. The cup keeper Kepa has gotten you there. I don't give a shit. Genuinely, I don't give a shit. Like, look at what Real Madrid
I
did
was
to
gonna
Lunin.
say, man, like
They're like, yo, bro,
we
respect.
we were talking about it the entire time
Yeah,
before the game. We're like, who do you start? Like, is it right? Whatever. I remember talking
yeah,
about it with my dad. Like, everybody was, and everybody had different opinions. Some people were like,
yeah,
well, I mean, you have to give it. Like, he's been playing. Like, who knows what kind of shape Courtois is even in?
yeah. No, but it became more and more obvious that it was going to be Courtois.
Yeah,
It
for
was just
sure,
like
for
we're
sure.
not taking this chance. But like, come on, like the comparison to Lunin to Courtois versus Kepa to David Raya is not the same. Even Trafford to Donnarumma, like you could argue that like Trafford can do
Trafford
some
did really well.
things.
Like, he did
Yeah,
really solid. Yeah,
he made some great saves, but I don't want to focus too much on the goalkeeper. Genuinely, I think like Kepa's kind of being scapegoated in this game. I just
100%.
think
I
that
agree with that.
Arsenal were completely out of it. And this is what I say. It's like they genuinely lined up to do nothing. We the back four was just four center backs. Ben White is apparently a right back. I get it, he plays right back, but like he's not. I wouldn't really consider him a full back. And it was Hincapié and Gabriel and Saliba, and then they just defended, and that was it. But the squad, like that team, looks strong. It's Rice, Zubimendi, Saka, Havertz, Gyökeres, Trossard. Like that team should do things. But for me, and this is why I don't really see them as this clear favorite as in Champions League. It's just because Arteta doesn't seem to know how to get them to just ball. Like I hate to oversimplify it, but just let them play. Like let them ball out. Like Gyökeres has been like okay. Um, Realistically, that's it. Saka, just like Ruben said, he's been definitely like quiet. He's going through something. Zubimendi's probably been their best player alongside of Rice, but like
Well, even
is
Zubamendi's
Rice?
getting tired. Zubamendi's looking
Yeah,
worse and worse out there. Like
yeah. Like
he's getting tired from the way that they
what
play.
happened to what's his name? Eze.
I think now officially Eze's hurt now. It got
Yeah, I know he's
reported.
hurt, but like
Yeah. Before
aside
also
from
said
that,
that,
I'm like, so like he just fell off. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, all this to say, like Arteta's probably going to win the league. Realistically,
there's a good chance. Yeah,
it's
they would
still a
have
bottle.
they would have to throw it away.
Yeah, it would be a bottle job of bottle jobs, but we never see, we never know. But yeah, like
The
to
quadruple's
me,
dead. They could
the
still
quadruple is absolutely of
they
course.
could still get the treble with the FA
Yeah,
Cup and the,
when you look at the teams, PSG just like Ruben said, is a wounded animal. They haven't. If you listen to Julian Laurent on ESPN FC, he's a big PSG fan. He said they haven't reached the heights of last season. We know how Real can play against Atletico. We know what Real Madrid's deficiencies are. We know what Bayern deficiencies are. It's an open Champions League.
100%.
It's genuinely an open Champions League. And yeah, like pick your poison, pick your team, and just put a bet on it, and ride it from there. See what the best odds are.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I guess like the other games to talk a little bit about because we're already getting to an hour. Let's talk a little bit about the fixtures that are coming and maybe just give quick thoughts on them. So, PSG are playing Liverpool. We didn't really talk about their games, but to quickly summarize them, PSG took Chelsea to the woodshed. Like
Liam
to be,
Senior resign. At the
oh my,
right now.
like bro, like I actually thought Rosigne started okay at Chelsea and was getting some results.
Yeah, I was a little bit. Yeah.
It was
Nope.
5-2 in the
Nope.
first leg. That was at the Parc de France, which okay, 5-2. And like the damning thing about that game, not to go too granular since we're trying to look ahead, was that there was a moment where Chelsea kind of battled back, and it's like, okay, like PSG, we're gonna leave with an advantage, but if you could keep it 3-2, 4-2, that's fine. Like you just wrap your hand and don't do anything stupid. They proceed to do a lot of things stupid and go into the second leg down 3. Second leg, they were never in it. 3-0 for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool, kind of the reverse of Chelsea. They were one of the teams that looked like maybe the English weren't going to have any teams that made it through because they went week 1 without a single one of their teams winning. They drew in the first leg 1-1 with Galatasaray. Second leg, they swept Galatasaray aside 4-0. There was an early part of the game where Galatasaray put some pressure on, but Osimhen looked kind of hurt. Didn't look like he was really at his best. Looked kind of off of it. Liverpool took advantage, put him to the sword. So it's Paris, it's Liverpool. First leg, I believe, is at the Parc de France. Yes, because Liverpool are the higher seed. What do you think's going to happen? Two inconsistent teams, two teams who, I mean, PSG won it last year, so we can no longer use the old. They've never won it, so I don't believe that they can. And Liverpool, obviously, European Knights. And to be fair, this is the only thing they really have to play for, right? And the FA Cup, they're still in the FA Cup.
Yeah. I think the first leg against Liverpool can be difficult for them because they are in Anfield, and I think like that could be something. You know, the Anfield Knights are definitely that's a great atmosphere, and we can't discount what the crowd can do for them. I think it generally comes down to whether Liverpool can play to their to their heights. I think that if they just don't shoot themselves in the foot, they can make this a tie. But if they don't, if Van Dijk does Van Dijk things and Konate just it sucks again, we'll see how he plays. I don't think a 4-1-2-1-2 with Ekitike and like Salah is great. Like up top, but like realistically, like Salah's been shell.
The hope is that with this announcement, it kind of inspires him and the team, and everyone just kind of gets on board. Like that, he knows now it's over.
Yeah, I would like to see more of like the 4-2-3-1 shape, or maybe like something like a 4-4-2 that's more flat with more like more help in the midfield, because I definitely think that's going to be huge. I don't think you can put two or even the three of McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch. Against like the likes of Vitinha and Ruben Neves and whoever else they like to start there. Even Zaire Emery was great against Chelsea. I think that's a huge point. If Vitinha, we saw it against Inter. Genuinely, to simplify it, if Vitinha dictates the game, the tie is over. For me, the tie is over there. So if Liverpool don't shoot themselves in the foot and they can play to the heights, and Salah somehow finds some sort of swan song ability and does it, you never know. Football is like this. It's one of those sports. It could be a tie. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Genuinely, I think PSG, I would say comfortably even win this.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see a competitive one.
I kind of agree. It'd be funny if Liverpool make it through, because if we make it through as well, it'll be a Real Madrid-Liverpool semifinal, and we have a lot of history in this competition, and that's always a fun little go. But I agree. I think Paris will be kind of comfortable in this. They do seem like they're hitting their stride at kind of the right time. And today it was announced, depending on how you feel about competitive balance and stuff, this might be a negative news for you, but the French Federation agreed to postpone their game against Lens, who are the team that's chasing them in Ligue 1. Lens are only like 2 points behind them, I believe. So that game is big. It's like it could be a big swing for Lens to kind of win Ligue 1 and make a real title push. But that game is being postponed. It was supposed to be played on the 11th, or it was supposed to be played in between the two legs of the Champions League, basically. Which I do believe it was the 11th or the 12th or something. The Federation has agreed to PSG's desire to reschedule it. Lens did not agree, but I guess under the rules of the federation, they can move one game a year where the two teams do not have to agree. So a lot of people are upset.
Interesting.
Lens officially said that, like, PSG have the highest budget of any team in the league. We have the 10th highest one or something like that. And it's like, how many more advantages do they need? Blah, blah, blah. But needless to say, PSG will be very rested for all their games coming up. They'll be rested for these ones. There's always that debate. The Premier League people use it as a stick to beat the weaker leagues when they say, well, like, they haven't ever faced real opposition. That's why they crumble in the Champions League. But then when the English teams lose, it's like, well, the English are playing such hard games. It's that the season is still. You can't have it both ways. You really can't. But anyways, I agree with you. I think it'll be a comfortable PSG win. We'll save our homer one for a bit. We talked about them, Barcelona and Atleti. We discussed kind of how they got here for Barca. For Atleti, they kind of just took apart Tottenham. I mean, it ended up being 5-7 Atleti on aggregate, and that makes it kind of look closer. Spurs did push in their last game against them, but they went into the second tie down 5-2, won the second one 3-2. But Atleti was very comfortable just, like, not playing. They were like, do whatever you want, Spurs. They sat behind the ball, didn't offer much. It was a classic Simeone, we hold what we have performance, with just enough goals to kind of always keep it out of reach for Spurs. Like, because the third goal came in really late too. It came in like stoppage time basically. So there really was no hope for a remontada at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which may soon be the biggest stadium in the championship. We'll
get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Wow.
Yeah, so what do you think? This is two of our rivals, two teams we know very well. Either way, a La Liga team is making it to the semifinals. We know that for a fact.
Yeah. It's probably the toughest one to call, I would say.
I think so.
I think I'm leaning slightly Atletico Madrid, and I think it's just we've seen them do it against Barcelona this season, specifically in the Copa del Rey. I think the formula is there. Yes, absolutely. Barcelona is the better attacking side. I will still argue as a whole, if you take out Diego Simeone and put a manager who doesn't just put like two banks of 10 to defend, Atletico's side is more balanced, in my opinion. And you might think that's crazy to say, and that's like stupid. From defense to midfield to front, I just think their squad is more balanced as a whole. But specifically just because they've done it against them, I think it's going to be close, but I think that Atletico probably pulls this one out. But I would not be surprised at all if Barcelona plays on the counter and finds them out that way.
I do think this is going to be a close one, like you said. Atleti have shown that they can beat them in a cup competition. It helps Atleti somewhat that the first leg is at the Camp Nou and the return fixture is at Atletico Madrid. I think at the Wanda Metropolitano. And also I didn't give the Camp Nou its correct name. At the Spotify Camp Nou, broke motherfuckers. Yeah, I think the first leg will dictate a lot of what this is. If Atleti can play at the Spotify Camp Nou and leave with a draw or leave only down 1, even down 2, like as long as the tie is not out of hand, they have a shot, because at the Wanda, it is a cauldron. It's a nasty atmosphere. We've talked about it a lot. When Madrid play there, it gets really ugly. I wonder if Lamine Yamal is going to be subject to some of the stuff that Vinicius is. I hope not. I think the fact that he does play for the Spanish national team helps him in the eyes of Atleti fans, obviously. But it could be really ugly. It could be a game where the fans are really whipped up into a frenzy. And Diego Simeone is great at that. Like, if they go back to the Wanda and it's 1-1, Diego will have that place rocking. The Atleti will be snapping into every tackle. I see a path, especially since this is really the only thing that Atleti have to play for. Obviously, they are in the final of the Copa del Rey, but they don't have a chance at the league. They just have to stay in the Champions League positions. Right now, they're in fourth place, but they're 13 points ahead of Betis and 1 point behind Villarreal. So odds are they're going to do enough to stay in the Champions League spots. They play the Copa del Rey against Real Sociedad, a team that they should beat. Not that, that's ever stopped Diego Simeone from losing a game, but they should beat them. So I do think now this team becomes cup competition team. It becomes the team that's really focused on that and focused on just making sure that they win as much silverware as they possibly can. For Diego Simeone, this is the best time. This is the best moment ever of Atletico Madrid's history. He's their most successful manager. He's brought them to 2 Champions League finals. How important would it be for him to finally get it over the line? I'm assuming extremely important. Like, if he wins the Champions League, it could be argued that he's done everything that he could possibly do at Atleti. And then maybe he does look to move on, or they look to move on, or there's a natural breakaway that can be had, because the highs will never get higher again,
Yeah.
So I do think this is important. Saying all that first leg at the Spotify Camp Nou worries me. We're going to see a preview of this because they actually play in the league a week from now on the 4th. And that game is important for us as Real Madrid fans, just for what's going to happen in the league. But they play on the 4th, so that'll inform a lot. But I do think Barca win this. I think the first leg's going to be too much. I think they're going to end up winning that first leg like 3-0 or something. And then at the Wanda, Atletico will try. They'll fight, but it'll still be like 2-1 or something. Like, I don't know that I believe in Diego Simeone to approach the games in a way that will allow him to win. But I could be wrong, and I kind of feel the same way that you're saying. There is a chance that they do it, and I think you look at Sorloth, Marino, Alvarez. Like, they are people that are not afraid to shoot from deep. They have really great shots, high work rate. They really fight and battle, and they will give Barcelona's backline a lot of trouble. And Barca have been dealing with injuries to their keeper as well. Garcia's been in and out. There's been a lot of difficulties there. I don't think he's hit the highs that I think they expected him to. Like, Garcia was supposed to be their Courtois or their Donnarumma or their Raya. You're supposed to be the goalkeeper that takes you from we have a really solid goalkeeper to we have like an elite goalkeeper, right? And it just hasn't really happened yet. But yeah, so I'm going against you, but I think it is the hardest one to call. And maybe I'm just trying to give Barca a jinx because if I bet real currency on Atletico Madrid qualifying, there's no way that they. Sorry, if I bet real currency on Barcelona qualifying, there's no way that they do.
Yeah.
Sporting versus Arsenal.
Sporting are winning.
We didn't really talk.
You never know.
You do never know.
This is the Gyökeres return match.
It is. This is the Gyökeres derby.
You never know. Maybe Sporting's that random because there's always I feel like in most years in Champions League, it's like you see the main teams. It's like the Bayerns, the Real Madrid, the Barcelonas, City, and then there's always the insert random team that does well here. Maybe Sporting's that team this season. Maybe they make some noise.
It could be.
I don't think so. Realistically, I'd be genuinely shocked if they pull something off.
I find it hard to believe. They did lose leg 1 against Bodo Glimt 3-0, overturned the tie,
which is insane.
At home. It went into extras. They won 5-0. Yeah, they're a team with fight. They're a team that can be the protagonists in a match. I don't think that they have enough to beat Arsenal. Sadly, it would be funny. And never say never. Arsenal do make things difficult for themselves. Again, the first leg is in Lisbon. If Sporting can do a little bit of what Leverkusen did, and maybe even better that, if they can leave Lisbon with a 1-goal lead, a 2-goal lead or something, take it to the Emirates,
Emirates.
and I was about to say Stamford Bridge. Take it to the Emirates and make it a difficult game for Arsenal. You never know, but ultimately Arsenal are just too good defensively. There's not going to be a lot of space. Gyökeres actually should do well in this game if he does start. I mean, who knows who Arteta's going to put out there. But this is the kind of game where Gyökeres might have more space, more opportunities to make his little mistakes that sometimes he does with his touch and still be able to get the ball off. So, yeah, I think sadly this is the end of the line for Sporting Club de Portugal, but
Darn.
I know. The last one is Real Madrid versus Bayern. Obviously, we've talked about it a little bit. Leg one is at the Bernabeu. The return leg is at the Allianz Arena. There's no way we're not going to pick Real Madrid. So there's no suspense there. I guess we've talked a little bit about what we see as potentials for the game. I guess two questions. Who, if Real Madrid do win, who do you see as being the most key figure in those victories, and prediction on the aggregate score? I guess we'll do that. We'll make it difficult.
The easy answer, I think, is someone like Valverde or Vinny Jr. Could even play, say, Bellingham, if depending on how he plays. I really don't want to rush him back if he's not ready. Same with Mbappe. 100%. I'm actually going to go with Trent. Ooh. When Trent plays well in the performances, because he's ahead of Carvajal now, it's pretty clear, and he should be.
As he should.
Yeah. When he plays well and he offers that extra ability of creativity and passing, even when he like drifts a bit into midfield and not just shooting like high up on the right, it creates a lot. One of the goals that Vinny scored against Atletico is pass from Trent. I think he's very key, but he could cost us against Diaz, because Diaz has the pace.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's Valverde is going to help tuck in, or if it's going to be Thiago or someone like that. That for me has to be the key. I'm going to go aggregate scoreline of 4-2 for Real Madrid over two legs. That's what I'm going to predict. Like, I guess it would be 2-1 in both legs, something like that.
All right. Yeah, I think the easy answer is to say like Vinny plays a blinder, Valverde does something crazy, Jude comes back, has a great game, or even Mbappe like comes back into the side and really, because Mbappe, talking about moments in the shirt, he hasn't really had his Real Madrid moment.
Yeah,
like he hasn't.
You could argue that him coming back could hinder, and could he be like, is he key in terms of if to not fuck shit up?
Yeah.
Not only have a good performance and have a big moment, but not fuck shit up.
I think ultimately I am going to say Kylian Mbappe just because of exactly what you said. I think he is going to dictate a lot of how this tie goes, for good or for bad. Same with Trent. We know his deficiencies defensively. I've still been left wanting of Kylian Mbappe in the big games. Again, say whatever you want about Vinicius Jr., and I found it really funny that in the derby, I was watching, and the commentary and like the graphics are all like, Vinny has never scored against Atletico Madrid in the derby in La Liga, and like even outside of that, he's only scored like 1 or 2 goals when they face each other in the Copa del Rey and other competitions. He ended up scoring a brace, and like that just shows you the confidence that he's on right now, how important he is, and like that's what good players do. They do raise their level and rise to the occasion. So Mbappe has a chance to do that. You know, if he comes and he works hard and he does the things that Arbeloa and the team need him to do, and he scores a couple goals, that's huge. So hoping for that. I think I kind of agree with you, but I'm going to go a little different. I think it'll be 5-2. I think we went 3-1 at the Bernabeu, and then we kind of just like 2-1 at the Allianz. We soak up a lot. They score first, but then we hit them on the break or something. I don't. Or like, sorry, like we soak up a lot. We hit them on the break. They have to open it up a bit and stuff like that. I do think like the Bernabeu is going to be key. we can't leave the Bernabeu on a draw or a loss for me to feel comfortable. Anything's possible, but just to feel comfortable. I think you're muted.
Technical difficulties. Either way, there's going to be a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
There's going to be like a lot of soaking up pressure, 100%, running. 100%. Backs are going to get tight. Legs are going to get, the hamstrings are going to be tight.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
It's a great time of year.
It's great. And if Real Madrid win, we'll keep doing the Champions League things, focusing on Real Madrid. If they lose, we'll just do the Champions and Prem stuff and La Liga stuff. I think like the overall plan, follow out the year of these competitions. As the World Cup gets closer, do some previews on the groups and stuff. Once we know who's going to be in what group, talk about that, a little overview. And
talk about the shady BMO Field expansions.
Yeah. Oh my God, it looks awful to drive by. It looks so jank. Like it just, and I know it has to be that way because it's like it's temporary. Like they're just gonna tear it down, but like it looks jank as fuck.
I don't want to sit there.
I know. I can't say that I do. I can't say that I do. But
it'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully
we're going to record another one today. We're going to do a Premier League one now.
Yeah.
After this, what are you thinking? Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
We're going to hit another one. Yeah. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. What do you think of our picks? Are we full of, you know what? Is Bayern going to trounce Real Madrid? Is Sporting going to go to the final? And
Sporting Real Madrid final. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Real Madrid lose on penalties.
Honestly, perfect. Yeah.
We'll take it. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, your dog, cat, whatever you got. Let us know what you think about our thoughts. And yeah, on the next one, we're going to talk about the Premier League and teams who are not doing great. That's just a little synopsis.
A little preview. See you guys later.
See you.
Peace.